Good morning, welcome to Options Tenor. This is a members video. We'll be doing a video on Nvidia. We go through the multiple time frames, starting with the monthly all the way down to the 65. We're going to check this out because it seems to be holding the market up right here. So we want to see how much further this might be able to go, what's happening here with Nvidia. So let's see here. Sorry, just one thing here. Okay. So right now, after this breakout, we had this huge move. And I don't think that this move is over. I think we're looking for a pullback in Nvidia. And clearly, these numbers are very small because of their stock split. I think it's very possible that, this wedge could break down and we start testing one or two of these moving averages. So if we break down from the wedge, it's possible that it just starts another wedge higher. That's what bullish stocks do. And will we get all the way down here to the 40 mark? That would be an amazing buy, but I really don't think that's realistic. Now, if the market gets crushed enough and this leads the market down, perhaps that's a good spot. We've seen that happen to Apple in the past, where you had buying opportunities at $50. So if this does happen, you better believe I'm buying hand over fist. So looking at the oscillators, we have our MACD just pointing straight up. I do think the next move after a correction will be some sort of divergence at this time. But right now we just don't have that. That's what leads me to believe that this has much higher to go. And in the long run, I mean, we could run back up to, who knows, 1,000, 2,000 again. But right now in the RSI, we're getting some negative divergence here on this last move from this high to the new high. Okay, so that just starts to give us a little bit of let me draw that in. A little bit of a clue that it's time for a correction. And very similar to this move here. You get the RSI twice at that last move, and then you had a correction into an oversold spot. And that's what I expect here to go oversold. I don't expect this to be anywhere near the bear territory. So over, in the long run, just bullish on Nvidia, but I think with the rest of the market as well, this is going to have to correct. Let's go to the weekly. On the weekly time frame is where we start to get some of these divergences happening. So we'll go directly to the oscillators here, and you see that on the MACD we have a big negative divergence, and that's on the weekly time frame. That's huge, and so we should see a nice fall, maybe underneath, just like this one, maybe underneath the zero line to get into bear territory, but not for very long. Okay, so we have a 3-peak right here on the RSI, 3-peak divergence. And the slow still, we're waiting for a sell signal there, but just right in that oversold territory. Let's check out, let's see if there's any DMARC. I haven't looked at these, I haven't updated it, I'm just doing this with you. And so on the weekly, I mean, it's very positive we'd get the 13 here. So 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks there to get to 13. So that would be a 913 sell signal. But you can see we're forming that wedge, bearish falling wedge, even though we made new highs here. So I can't call it a bear flag, but it's still kind of the same pattern that plays out. Awesome oscillator. Again, negative divergence here. Looking for that to turn red. All right. So at this point, we'll have to expand this out here and make it more of a, look at that, nice channel. At this point, good channel here, negative divergence. I do think this channel will break down. And a good spot here with this on the weekly time frame, you can see a little bit better. We have nice support. You have good support resistance here at the 92. And then all the way down to the 75. So over time, maybe the 100 moving average is at that point. I think this is more realistic around the 70 range, and that's cut in half. That's a 50% cut there, and I think that will be a wonderful buy at that point. Do I think we get there? I think this is more likely. All the way down to 40 just doesn't, I mean, that's huge. So we'll see. Cut in half is very typical, just like the market. I do expect that to cut in half as well. Looking at the daily time frame. On the daily, I suspected that this would be the high here with the negative divergence, so I put those arrows there, but we got another one here after the correction. Just kind of holding the market up at this point, and we'll go down to 65. See another divergence here. We'll move this over to a 3-peak, and we're just about to get that sell signal here on the daily time frame. So I think this should be happening pretty soon here. Expand this wedge out. All right, so today, I think we might eke out just a new high here. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I can kind of push that wedge if we take out the wicks and just use the bodies. I think we can push that wedge up just a little bit. But for benefit of the doubt, we'll have that. We'll move that wedge bottom back down there. It kind of coincides with those. I guess that makes more sense. It coincides with the moving averages. So I think that's a better spot for it. What else? We have earnings coming up here. 11:20. Anything could happen. You know, this could gap up 30 points. Anything can happen on earnings. So we won't be playing these earnings, but we'll be very aware of what happens after the earnings. So if it gaps up, I think that will probably create some more divergence, and then we'll probably play that to the downside. But in general, this is our former all-time high. That will be the breaking point, a good sell signal if we get back underneath about 140 here. So we gapped up above it. It looks like that's an island gap here. Right here, the market did that as well. And we're going to push over, but we're getting into the wedge ceiling, the top again. And what I think is going to happen is today we probably make it up to there. The highest point looks like 149.77. I have my alert set there. I think that we'll probably hit that today, and or maybe a gap up tomorrow with CPI, and then that will create a negative divergence here on the 65. So all these time frames, we're starting to build the divergences, and then you have to let the lowest time frame play itself out. And so we'll move that over here if and when we get that 149.77. And the same thing here, we'll be looking for those negative divergences to play out. All right, so that's pretty much all we got. Just want to show the update. Wait a minute. In the target here, if price wants to move up just a little bit higher, first of all, this was that was the former high right here. The push down here for the ABC got to that 132 extension from wave 1 to 3. And so that was a beautiful play. So that here, I thought that was a bear flag for wave 4 and continue on to wave 5, but that wasn't the case. That was a beautiful A, B, C pattern. And so that was bullish. And so we're playing out this last move here. Possible 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then maybe a 4 in here and a 5 to get up here. So we can take this out. That's done. And then we have, I'll move this over a little bit. We have targets from this last correction. The target's right above here if price wants to break and throw over that wedge. We have a price target here about 152 to 154. That will be a zone for a big resistance, primary resistance there. If price needs to go up higher, maybe CPI we gap up, and Nvidia comes up here. That would be a nice short, objective short there as well. All right, so let me get this video out, and thanks for watching here. We'll see you in the next video.